that we're starting standing today. So if you really needed to curl up in a little ball on your mat or find a down dog or a child's pose, we'll get to all those things later, but you may enjoy finding that now in the moments before we begin. Does anyone have any requests for your practice today? Hey, Michael, welcome. Welcome, everyone. I'm Tiffany. Thank you for coming today. Focus a little bit extra than normal on hamstrings today, but if you have other requests, I will always gladly take them at the last minute. Throw them at me. Easy to please, you Friday crew. All right, let's begin, my friends. We shall begin standing today. It's warmer outside, but I'm not messing around. I've still got my space heater, so if you have one too, bring it near you. And do try to take your socks off for the beginning of practice because we'll need some sticky feet for this one. We're going to take our feet just about hip-width distance and really soften into your knees. So I would like you to begin to feel here a little gravitational pull, almost like your bones are barely holding your body upright. Literally, you're just sinking in here. We're going to sweep both arms up and overhead. And then a bend of our knees to slow motion, swing the arms down behind us and rise. Breathe in as we lift. Breathe out as we slow motion swing. Just checking in here with how our low back feels. Exhale, swing down slowly. Let's take a couple more like this. Breathe in, eyes float upwards past the fingertips, full exhalation. Inhaling confidence and brightness. Exhaling any self-doubt or worries. Let's speed it up if it feels good for you. Breathing in and then a big exhalation through an open mouth, cleansing breaths. I love to do a big cleansing breath because it feels like it can get all of the stale, stagnant energy out of your body. Let's try 3 more like this. Big breath in, full breath out. Breathing in, knowing that there is lightness within you and love throughout you. Stay at the tip top. Step your left leg behind the right and just take your knees into soft bends, coming into a little curtsy and then a lift, working into warming your outer hip here. Little curtsy and lift. Hold at the top, but tip to the right side, drawing your left shoulder behind you and then widen your arms. So you feel a little back bend, a little side bend, and a whole lot of chest opening. Big breath in. Clasping your hands behind your low back, stepping your feet together, or not together, I should say, excuse me, under your shoulders. And then we're just gonna shift our hips side to side. Again, working into the outer hips. Press the heels of your hands together, stretching your chest open each more. I want to think about each breath opening your sternum and your heart, cracking it wide open so we can let in brightness, love, and light through this practice. Big stretch skywards, inhalation. Right toes step behind and then tip a little bit over to the left as we softly bend into our knees. Send breath down to the left outer hip. Try twice more like this. Pausing somewhere that feels soft and long in your sides, leaning to the left, and then twirl your heart towards the ceiling, spreading arms wider so it feels less intense and like you're bringing yourself up to allow the universe to accept you. Big breath in. Clasping hands behind low back, step back into the center, wide or narrow, you choose. We're gonna bend our knees into a chair pose. So for chairs, I really want you to always peek down when you first start and make sure your knees are not in front of your toes. Way far back here, sit in your hips. Forward fold, maybe your knees stay really bent here. However, your hamstrings are enjoying this stretch. Back to chair, keeping press through the heel of our hands. Exhale, straighten. 2 more like this, and as you drop into forward fold, shake your head no this time. No to tension. No to stress and worries. Inhale, rise, slow the shake of your head. And next time you fold, shake it, yes. Give a big nod of appreciation, yes, to gratitude, finding time in our days for self-care. Fingertips fall underneath your shoulders, but let them slip down your body slowly so we don't clunk them. And once you arrive, halfway lift, top of head away from tail. Turn your left toes out to the side. So I have right toes forward, left toes out. They make a capital L. And then just begin a little sway of your hips, yogis, to the right side and the left side. Bending into your knees every time you do, really softly working into hamstrings here. Trying to direct our breath all the way down through the back body. And if you're finding that this is really, really low, too low for you, grab some pillows, some textbooks, some yoga blocks if you have them. Or if need be, you can always press your hands lightly on your thighs. Let's turn our chests now over the left toes and refine that little sassy sway in our hips. Let them scoot to the right and the left. Breathing in some lightness and releasing any darkness from your body and your spirit. One more breath, sending positive energy to the backs of your body, releasing all that's no longer serving us. Let's come back over the right toes and turn left toes back to match. Folding down to stretch our wrists, bringing backs of hands somewhere on the mat. If that's too far away, press them to your shins or the sides of your thighs. Bending into our wrist creases as much as possible to stretch deeply over the top of our wrists here. Take a big, beautiful breath in. And as you breathe out, fingertips back to the ground, right toes turn out. Make that little capital L with your feet. Chest stays over your left toes. And then by bending knees, we softly sway the hips, feeling outer hips and hamstrings. The deeper we drop our noses down towards our toes, the more intense this will be. So if it's way too much for you, bring hands softly to thighs. If you have furniture nearby, you could always use the arm of a chair or a couch as well. Let's turn chest over your right toes and continue with that little sway. Try to invite presence into your thoughts. So inviting sensations and emotions that arise from your practice into your spirit and allowing that to take you through today. Turning everything back towards your left toes, including the right foot. And then we roll to stand, bending your knees a lot. We're really gently rolling because our hamstrings got quite a stretch there. Might take a second to feel okay. Woo-hoo, big stretch, yogis, good job. Arms rise, big breath in. Let's pass hands down through heart center. Take a little dive forward and down. Bend knees a lot if they're feeling a bit tight now. And take your left leg on a little lunge back. Softly landing your left knee. And then lifting it again, pushing out through your left heel. Land left knee. Push out through left heel, stretching through your calf. Lengthening through the back of your left leg. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. In and out. Step together. Right leg does the same. Stepping back. If you can use your fingertips as you move here, we'll start to warm into our wrists. Fingertips down, but squish that tennis ball that's in the palm of your hand. Tap right knee. Push back. All the movement here. You might be swaying up and down, forward and back, possibly even a little side to side if you like that. If and when your fingers get tired, you're always welcome to use fists for very strong wrists. Trying one more here. Step together from forward fold, yogis. Backs of hands on the floor or your shins and rise to the sky. Standing in extended mountain pose. Keep your fingertips facing down. Flick them up, palms flex forward, and we paint the walls. A really low chair pose. Backs of fingers scrape the floor. Fingertips fly high, heels of hands press forward and down. Now you move as quickly as you want, but really get into these wrist flexes. See if you can think about pulling middle finger in towards your wrist as you curl fingers down. And then pulling middle finger back towards your nose as you flex your wrists. Two more, hang in. These are big stretches for the wrists. Exhale, inhale. Let's find tabletop. Float to forward fold. Stepping back as gently as you can, lowering your knees into the earth. Our transitions are part of the yoga, so try to make them smooth. Swish a little side to side, working through the outer hips again. And let's get ready for hand push-ups, yogis. Spread your fingers wide, hands under shoulders, lift just the heel of your hand. All 4 knuckles stay down. Release, switch hands, opposite heel lifts, and release. Get a good stretch underneath the bottom knuckle. Your bottom thumb knuckle will rise, but the other 4 stay glued. Now, if you're feeling really good, you can lift both heels of hands at the same time. Keep going. And I'm gonna come close to you in case you're wondering how we do this, just so you can see the action. If this is my floor, we lift just the heel of our hand. So not all the fingers, just the heel, and press back down. But I'm gonna ask you to add on. Heel of hand rises, clench with your fingertips so they turn white. Release. Lift, clench, release. A little extra wrist strengthening here. If it's too easy, you're gonna send your knees back to modified plank. You're welcome to continue 1 wrist at a time or both, you choose. But don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we're lifting heel of hand, gripping fingertips, then release. Lift, grip, release. Whoo, that's tough. If you're still feeling extra strong in your wrists, final challenge, we have 4 more. Plank position, lift, grip, release. Don't forget your breath. This will warm things up quickly, won't it? Whew. Lift, grip, release. Well done. Drop your knees. Send your fists forward with your thumbs facing the sky. Coming into extended child's pose, dropping nose or forehead to the mat. Begin to push and elevate your left fist overhead. Drop it back down. Right fist, push it. Elevate, but think longer than you're lifting higher. Release. Lift, extend, working on warming the shoulders. Push. 3, 2 more each side. And 1, bring palms flat, slide back to kneel on your shins, and take the backs of your hands together. Fingers point down, just give them a little shake. Oh, feels so good, just jiggle everything out. And then we're gonna roll them, yogis. Pull them towards your nose, press them back forward. So maybe like a 3/4 circle here. Roll, just releasing your wrist. We have a very strong challenge coming. Don't worry, I'll layer up the intensity so you always feel free to stay with level 1. Let's go 1 more time. All right. Be strong, my friends. Tabletop again. Once you arrive stacked, knees under hips, hands under shoulders, go like this. Make the noise. Ha, ha. See what happens to your belly when you do that? Your stomach pulls up towards your spine. So try that brace, but keep it as you breathe down into your stomach. Strong in the core, toes tucked. Knees hover 1 inch, maybe 2. We're staying low to strengthen our core here. Level 1, stay right where you are. Level 2, hover your right palm, like there's just a piece of paper under it. Toes down. Hover your left palm. Fingers down. I meant to say fingers on the other side. Right toes, just a little lift. Toes down for real this time. Left toes. Release. We're going both at the same time. Right fingers, left toes. Hover, stay strong. Release. 1 more, yogis. Left palm, right toes. Hold, stay strong. Release. Oh, back to extended child's pose. Reach a prayer palm overhead. All 5 fingers pushing together. As you drop your forehead towards the floor, draw your thumbs to the nape of your neck. Isometrically pulling your elbow points back towards your knees. Feel a dragging sensation as you stretch out the backs of your arms. 1 more big breath in. All right, let's look forward. Reach out into extended child's pose. Come on up to kneeling. Take your hands forward and just roll your fists. 1 more, yogis. You can just hold level 1. Don't worry, but we're going to level this up a tiny bit. All right, shake like there's little water droplets. You can flick or you can shake. Get your wrists feeling really good. And when you're ready, find me in plank. So we know how to kneel our planks, right? It would be a diagonal line from knees towards shoulders. Level 1. Level 2, full plank. Level 3 is scary. We're gonna walk our feet a little bit wider, draw our navel in. Remember that ha sound we make to draw navel in. Lift your right palm, just a little bit of air underneath. Palm down. Left palm, yogis, stay strong and square in your hips. Palm down. Right toes. Still breathing? Toes down. Left toes. You do not have to come with me. You can stay right where we've been this whole time. If you're ready, right fingers, left toes. Hover, breathe, stay a little longer. Feel grippy in the grounded fingertips. Down you go. Reset yourself. Remember to breathe in. I am strong. Left fingertips, right toes grip through the right fingertips. Get very strong here. Release. Downward facing dog. Woohoo! Well done on a very strong warm-up today, yogis. Welcome to your practice. Move organically. Ask your body what it feels like it needs. Ask yourself what feels good and enjoy the journey. One more breath of moving exactly how you wish, and we'll come together. All right, let's move dynamically through your breath. As you exhale, roll forward like an angry cat in your back, finding a plank. Roll and tuck your tail, chin tucks in, level out in plank. Bend knees a tad, hover them. Scoot your buns back to the sky like a cow back. You have a little ski slope in your back as you lift to dog. Exhale, roll forward, angry cat into plank. Bend knees, scoop back, cow as you exhale to dog. 3 more times like that. Exhale. Inhale. Now we know we can always find dog and kneeling plank. We can always find child's pose instead of dogs. Last round, find breath. Most importantly, connection to it. Let's gaze forward. Tiptoe walk in. Every time you do, lift your thigh up into your hip flexor, planting purposefully through each foot. Back of hands comes down, wrist stretch. Use your shins or your thighs if you prefer. And then roll to the sky, yogis. Take your time here. Let's use our breath and our movements to rub up against any tension that's causing friction. It's making us feel discomfort. Rub up against it. Rise and stand tall when you're ready. Big inhalation. Nice work. Let's release, coming down any way that feels wonderful to you in the moment. Halfway lifting, breath comes back in. Fingers super light on our shins. Lengthen top of head level with your tailbone. Re-release. Bowing down in your fold. Right leg steps back. Take a long lunge. Rock forward and back a few times. And when you're ready, plant your right heel. Warrior one, yogi. So just about a 15-degree turn out of our right toes. Climb to your left thigh. Sweep your right arm skywards first. Plant the back of your left hand inside your right palm, bending deeply into your warrior one, and then send your body back. Push left hand into right for a back bending warrior one. Spreading your arms wide, side to side, straighten top of head away from tail. Reach fingertips behind you as you fold navel over left thigh, loading your warrior one. Roll your right heel skywards. Shift as much weight as possible into your left foot, spike down, and stand tall with a right knee lift. Big breath up and in. Find your balance. Stay with me. Big breath. Extend your right toes, even if they're connected to the floor. Push away. Then round into a little ball. Hug in here. Nose to knee as much as possible. You can always hug your stomach if your toes are on the floor, rounding in towards yourself. Falling forward while keeping that right knee in. We're going to find a standing split, just a tiny one. Right fingers down, left hand holds your left ankle. Toes can remain grounded or elevate a little bit or a lot. Just still warming up our bodies here, so not giving 100% yogis, just feeling the stretches. Re-release, your right toes come right back down behind you, find a lunge. Downward facing dog, and roll forward, plank, but can you make it an angry cat back? Make it a spooky back, rounding here, flattening out once you've arrived, shoulders over wrists. Lower your body to the earth so gently. Toes walk back like if I pulled your big toes, I couldn't get you any longer. Palms fall, forearms rest down into Sphinx, and your elbows are directly under your shoulders. Widen your feet if you're feeling compressed in low back, and let's gently gaze forward, heart opening, beginning that isometric drag backwards, elbow points coming towards your hips, like you could wrinkle your mat under your stomach. One more breath, softening the palate and the top of your mouth, bottom jaw heavy. Release, toes come back behind hips, chest melts down, we find child's to dog, tuck toes, scoop your hips high. Looking forward, if you'd like to continue tiptoeing, please do, or you can bend your knees, crouch, and then hop gently forward. Hanging in a forward fold whenever you have arrived, no rush. Let's hinge this time, yogis. Take each thumb into the crease of your hips and push back with your thumbs. Lift your crown level with your tail. Soft bend in your knees. On a big exhalation, push to standing. Nice hinge. Inhale, rise. We're going to try the hinge again, but you don't have to hook your thumbs. If you can actively push your hips back, you might not need the physical reminder. Send fingertips behind you. Fold halfway. Big breath in. Swan dive to the floor. Fingertips find the shins. Halfway lift. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bowing down deeply. Left leg steps back. As you land in your lunge, settle the left blade edge of foot. Little turnout, warrior one, style on the back foot, about 15 degrees of a turnout, blade edge down. Climb up your right thigh, sweep your left arm high, bending into your right knee. Right hand meets the left palm to boost you back, a little guidance into a back bending warrior one. Try to really shine your heart skywards here, big breath in. Breath out as arms fall to shoulder heights, and we upright the chest. Tail is under head. Loading this warrior one. Belly floats over right thigh. Fingertips stretch behind you like you're spreading these gorgeous wings. One more big breath in here. Let's elevate our left heel and drive ourselves to standing. Take a breath in, spike down the right heel, lift your left knee skywards. Big breath in. Gather it up, give it a huge squeeze. This is a balance challenge, I know. Round in here, big, big squeeze. Carry it with you back down into fold. Fingers find the floor. Left leg extends behind us. I really love to grab right hand on right ankle, but if that feels too wobbly, bring your fingertips wide like cactus arms. Give a little affectionate squeeze to the back body. Lifting into what feels good, and when you're done with that left leg, long step back. Finding a low lunge, push back downward facing dog. Feel free to take a pause here, yogis, or come with me. Angry cat back into plank. Breathe in. Breathe out, chaturanga, lowering our body slowly to the earth. Press palms a little wider than your shoulders. Let tops of feet flatten and extend, and then rise to baby cobra. But kind of wiggle in a little bit here. Elbows stay bent, feet wide, and if we feel tightness, that's uncomfortable in the low back. One more big breath, moving eyes skywards and softening your facial features. Exhale, release. Press back, find me in downward facing dog. Big lift up through the hips. Eye gaze moves forward. Tiptoe walk in just about 2 or 3 steps so we can refine tabletop. Uh-oh. Hovering tabletop. We have one final challenge here, yogis. We're going to do the alternating lift, palm and knee, but we're going to tap it forward as we do. If you need to kneel, you can. Otherwise, stay and hover. So we're going to go right hand, left toes, step forward. Left hand, right toes, step forward. Right hand, left toes. Left hand, right toes. A little primal movements here. Inhale. And when you've gone as far as you can go, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Coming back. We only have one more little journey along the mat. Remember, the lower the knees are, the more we work our core. Head back forward. So strong, yogis. Hang in. As far forward as you can go. Last time. Opposite hand and foot. Just back to the middle of your mat. You did it. Kneel for a moment. Tops of feet fall flat. Reach fingertips behind you. Stretch out your quads. Holy moly. I don't think much else gets me sweatier than that. Very hard work. I'm proud of you. Leaning back, possibly lifting buns off of heels. If your fingers bother you back here, use fists. Oh, that's a nice stretch. Try that one, yogis. Lift your buns. Let's take one more big breath in here, wherever we're enjoying ourselves. And moving on, release back to child's, extend forward. Thread your right arm under the left, but keep your eyes at your left thumb. Gazing forward for a little deeper expression of this threaded needle. Really crawl the right fingertips far away from your heart. Bending that elbow and giving yourself a high five. But check to make sure that your wrist is stacked above your right elbow. Long line from point to point here. Pressing palms, rising heart to thumb level, and then gently gazing upwards. Try to slow your breath down in this massive twist so it has time to weave and thread through, coming into all the nooks and crannies of this beautifully detoxifying twist. I gaze back forward, releasing ear to floor. Coming back to thread the needle, left arm overhead, eye gazes towards it. And to release, yogis, stretch your right arm skywards. We're gonna unthread it, reach it to the sky. Maybe need to move my left hand back for a little support, and just move a bit through that finger, through the wrist, and through the palm. As soon as you're ready, stretch back out into child's. Left arm threads under right, but we keep our eyes forward today. Feeling a little bit more in the deltoid, outer shoulder muscles. Take a big breath in. Start to wiggle your left fingers a far distance from your heart. Looking towards the right, bending left elbow, but make sure it's right under your wrist. Really strong alignment here. Then we push. Press palms together like the biggest, most heartfelt high five. Thumbs at sternum, and we gaze gently upwards. Trying to let tension release from our face as we feel that pull of gravity. Each exhalation allowing us to soften somewhere. Releasing softly, eye gaze down, left ear down, rethread your needle. Eye gaze towards your right fingertips for a really good sensational stretch here. And then reach your left arm skywards, possibly moving right arm back so you feel really good as you do. Moving a bit through the fingers, your wrist, and your palm. Coming on down, downward facing dog. All right, my friends. Eye gaze forward, step, step, tiptoe, or bend your knees into a crouch and hop forward. Find your way to rise. Would you like to roll or hinge? What are you finding feels good for your body today? Most important, inhale, rise. A funky one, watch me if you're unsure of curtsy twist. Left leg steps behind. We're gonna fold here. Fingertips find the floor. Left hand reaches under right elbow to grab the inner arch of the left foot. Then we make space by bending right elbow and peering out from under it. All right, so now that you've seen it, let's do it together. Left foot curtsies behind, but we need to eventually wind up on the blade edge so the arch is lifted, inner arch is lifted. Forward fold fingertips to floor, outside right baby toe. Left arm threads under the right, and we're gonna try to grab the left inner arch. So you may have to maneuver your foot a bit more forward. As soon as you have it, right elbow bends, we look out under the right elbow for a big twist, breathing under the left shoulder blade. One more breath in here. Unthread your curtsy twist. Fingertips frame right foot, and we step back into forward fold. Let's try one more twist here. Left knee bends, left fingertips come down, and we open the right side body. Oh, that's the perfect antidote, isn't it? Big breath in. Releasing when you're ready. Refine that curtsy, yogis. Let's rise. Come up slowly so you don't get dizzy. Right foot steps behind, but remember that we have to land on the blade eventually. So you might just step it back, find your fold, and then scoot it around so it's comfy. Maybe a little wider, maybe a little closer to fingers. Right arm threads under left. Right arm holds the right inner arch. Then we bend open in the left elbow, so there's room to sneak our noses underneath there and peek out the left armpit. Whenever you've landed somewhere crazy like this, really try to slow down, appreciate how beautiful and capable your bodies are. What a gift we've been given to have enough self-love to set this time aside for our breath work and our movement as medicine. Unwind that, frame out your left foot, step your back leg into a regular fold. Right knee bends, right fingers stay, left arm rises, just opening your body away from that big twist. One more breath in, right armpit pulling away from right hip. Fingertips fall. Let's roll to rise. One big breath in here. A little bit of a funky business happening next. Yogi squat. We're going to go plain vanilla for our purists to begin. Hands at heart center, and then sink down to your favorite yogi squat. So I really want to encourage you to stay here if the next option doesn't feel good, if it hurts your knees, or if it's too much of a balance challenge. Watch what's about to happen. Closed toe, yogi squat. We're going to bring everything together, and then we lift our heels. So our toes are kissing, heels are lifting, and knees are wide, okay? Looks like this from the front. Once you've found it, fingertips to the floor, and we're going to fold in on ourselves like we're trying to tuck into a turtle shell. As we do, we round in, your forearms may come to the ground. Feel free to stay. We're for the balance challenge, yogis. Reach behind you. Wrap your hands and wrists around your heels or ankles. Tuck your chin in, eye gaze towards your big toes. And you're in hovering, closed toe, yogi squat. Try to separate your jaw. We start to clench sometimes when we're hanging on, so really ease into this. If you're in yogi squat, stay there. We're going to meet you in a moment. For my balancers, one more big breath in. Full exhalation. Let's meet our friends who have the forearms down. Hopefully you didn't plop onto your nose. Let's lift our hips only if you're in closed toe. And then we're going to hop or step our feet out wider. So we're back joining our friends in regular yogi squat. One breath in here. Well done trying something different today. Fingertips down, feet parallel to one another. Everyone rise, please. Let's get one more round of strength sun salutations on. Wide feet hop together, toe heel or step step. I love the hops, they're so fun. Release fingertips to the floor. Halfway lift, breathe in. All right, self-care day, lots of hugs today. Release, right leg steps back. Find a high lunge, breathe it in. Wrapping your left arm around the front body, right arm around the back. Give yourself a huge hug. I like to really hug it, like snuggle it in. Feels good. Body comes over left thigh, stamp down through that left foot, and elevate your right foot. Body hugging warrior 3. Push your right heel away from the top of your head. Take another big breath in. We aren't done, yogis. Tap your right toes down. Rise through the arms. High lunge. Breathe in. Warrior 2. As you rotate your chest and hips to the side of your mat, drop your palms to face the sky at shoulder height. Just checking in that your shoulders aren't hanging from your earlobes. Literally, shimmy, 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 shake, shake, shake. Feel good? All right, well done. Left hand wraps again, front body, right hand, back body. Extended side angle. Bend your body to the left, but put your left hand on your right shoulder and use it to guide you more open. We're gonna push gently to guide shoulder behind us. Eye gaze finds the sky. Give yourself a little smile here. Feels so good. Re-stretch out regular warrior 2, palms up. Right arm wraps front, left arm around the back. As you tip into reverse warrior, leaning to the right, right hand to left shoulder. In an attempt to do what, yogis? Help us open our chest. Right hand pushes left shoulder skywards. We're staying bent in our left knee, planted in the right blade edge of our foot, and stronger in our breath. One more time. Exhale, back to center, palms spread, beautiful job. Lifting your palms, clasp them, and send your knuckles high. Turn all 10 toes forward. Stay out of the legs for a moment, just feel really good here. And now cross your wrists and clasp your hands, lover's hands. Bending down into goddess, or for my fellas, sumo squat. Take a big breath in, elbows hug your ears, and they're guiding your ribs a little higher. Beautiful job. Toes turn forward, halfway forward fold. If these arms are too much, bring them anywhere. Cactus, out like airplane wings, or behind you. We're gonna take one full breath in and out here, strengthening the muscles along our spine. Fingers fall under shoulders, hips rise, wide-legged forward fold, release. If your face or your crown hit the floor, toe heel your feet closer so you can hang with space under your head and feel really heavy in the upper body. One more big breath in. Here we go, yogis. Re-widen your stance. Coming back into toes out squat. Arms spread wide with palms up at shoulder height. Left toes in, right toes out. Feel okay? You'll know you're really good in your width when you bend as deeply as you can into your right knee and it's about 90 degrees. Take a little peek down to your left toes, blade edge secure, inner arch energized like it's trying to rise. Beautiful job. All right, cool. Let's bend back to start this time. Left arm wraps front, right arm around the back, lean left. Left hand slides to right shoulder. Give it a little nudge, a little bit of an opening. Oh, it feels so clear when you open your chest. You can breathe so much bigger. One more big breath in. Upon your exhalation, turn back forward. Spread your open palms to the sides. Right arm in the front, left arm in the back. As we lean to the right, right hand finds left shoulder head wide. So if we tend to stay down here a little bit, we're gonna help it. Boop, 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 all the way back. I gaze up past the left shoulder. Stay bent in your right knee. One more breath in here. Beautiful job. Coming back to center, palms face the sky. We're turning all the way to the right toes. If your lunge is too long, step in a tad bit. Reaching arms to the sky, yogis. And then right arm around front body. Last hug for today. Left arm around low back. Shift into loaded lunge. Right forearm hovers. The right thigh, big power here, breathe in. Stamp your right heel down, floating through the left leg. Warrior three, hips squared. Left pinky toe facing the floor. That's how I would know whether or not my hips are square. Big breath in. Softest landing ever as you exhale. Tap your toes. Rise in the arms. Big breath. Well done today. Warrior turns into a smooth flow. Fingertips frame right foot. Last vinyasa of the day. Press back to downward facing dog. Sway, move, breathe as it feels good. Let's roll forward. If you'd like to join me, we're vinyasa-ing one last time. Exhale, chaturanga. Well, what do you want to do, yogis? We have Sphinx. We've done baby cobra. And if you'd like to visit up dog with me, pressing palms, straightening arms, and rising knees and thighs. Take a breath in here, enjoy a big back bend. And meet me in downward facing dog, however long that takes you to arrive. Feel free to spend time in table or child. Once we get to down dog together, we're gonna work on our dolphins again today. Option yogis, tap your knees down and land your forearms. Then rise up through your knees if you did, and lift back up through the hips. Tiptoe your feet in as close as you can to your elbows. This is going to get difficult. We feel shaky, right? Maybe in our legs, maybe in our shoulders. If it's too intense on your shoulders, drop your knees, clasp your hands, and make a triangle with the arms. Then press pinky side down and revisit us up in dolphin. But I want you to try to work towards wrists in front of elbows. We have 2 final breaths in here. Lifting left fin when you're ready. Push straight away from your hip. Really long 3-finned dolphin. Toes down, right leg rises, breathe in. Push away, extend further. Breathe out softly, tapping down. Knees find the floor. Hips find your heels, tops of feet relax. Wrap your hands around your side bodies and rest on your right temple. Look off to the left. Hard work deserves a beautiful release. Make fists with your hands. Roll your knuckles skywards, trying to press your thumb pad onto your middle finger. Big breath in. Full breath out. Release your fists. Eye gaze looks to the right side. Rest on your left temple. And then let's try one more time with those fists. Big grasp. Push your thumb pad onto your middle finger. And once everything feels tight, roll your knuckles to the sky. Big stretch on the back of the wrists. Really nice to counterpose all that strong down dog work. All right, yogis, let's undo this and get back into hammy heaven. More hamstring stretches, eyes forward, fingers forward. Rise up so you can drop off to the side in your hips, and we're gonna turn the corner. Roll right on down with me, please. Let's scooch so that there's no flesh stuck under our tail, or you can move your flesh out from under sits bones. Gonna take a little stroll back. So I like to hug onto my knees and lift my toes and just rock on back. If you'd rather roll slowly, go for it. Once you get down, melt your upper body in and just gently rock side to side. All right, let's take right foot flat and left toes to the sky, placing your right hand on the front of your right hip so you can keep it low. Now, if you feel good here, extend your right leg straight. And some way we're holding on to our left leg, thigh, calf, maybe bottom of foot. We're gonna start to take little micro pulses with your left leg towards your left ear. So it's a tiny bit out to the side. Squeeze, release. Notice the shoulder on the left arm is really relaxed. This strength is coming from your hand and your bicep. Keep pressing down on right hip. And then switch so you start tugging gently with your left toes towards your right ear, just a little bit across the body. Noticing that we're feeling a great stretch through the outer hamstring here. 4, 3. Half happy baby. Flex that foot. Keep it right on top of your knee as you grab outer edge and draw knee next to your ribs. Now, if it's too much to hold your blade edge, hug on to the back of your thigh. Some people like to do a little rock here, anyway, to feel a bit more soft and gentle. So I always think like moving around helps you ease in gracefully to your stretches. Let's extend into half straddle. Left leg pushes away from your heart as much as it feels good. Keep pressing down on the right hand here so we stay very grounded in that glute and hip. And then switch hands finally. We're gonna draw our left leg across our bodies. It's okay if your whole cheek rises. Press your left hand down. Oh, nice spinal twist and a little break for our hamstring here. You can bend your knee if it feels too much with the leg straight. Come on back into the center, yogis. Wind relieving pose. Clasp like a little basket on top of your left shin and gently relax your arms to draw your knee in towards your stomach. Very nice pose for our gut health. Move a tad bit through your ankle, your toes, flex and point circle. Open and close your toes. And when you're ready, slowly scissor your legs to switch. Left foot flat to begin, right leg straight. Left hand heavy on the front of your hip. If you feel pretty good here, you can extend your left leg, but if it ever gets to be too intense, just rebend. Let's grab comfortably on the right leg and start to gently pulse, tugging it towards our right ear. Super gentle way to ease into our hamstrings. Start to gently tug it towards your left ear, so it's coming across your chest, just a couple of inches, really minor movements here. Strong in your hands, strong in your bicep and your elbow bend, but released in your right shoulder. Coming back in, half happy baby. Let's try to hold on to either back of right thigh or blade edge and slip your right knee softly down next to your ribs. Maybe a little rock side to side here. When you're ready, extending your right leg, inner thigh stretch. Keep pressing here, especially on the left hip. It wants to roll up, and then we lose some of the stretch. So we're going to keep it down. If you'd rather move your right hand inside your right thigh, that can be so nice. One more big breath in and out. Switching arms when you're ready. Left hand guides your right leg across your body. It's fine to let your whole cheek rise. Moving eye gaze over your right shoulder and bending your right knee if it feels a little too intense in your low back as you twist here. Big breath in. Full exhalation. Eye gaze back to center. Let's slowly re-rise. Clasp like a basket over the right shin and hug your stomach. Press your thigh into your stomach. Give your organs a gentle squeeze to keep everything moving fluidly through today. Yogis, we had a nice stretch. Now we're gonna work a little bit towards the end of class. I have a little core blaster on for you. Continuing a bit of work into our hamstrings as well. So it's a double whammy, a really nice stretch and strengthen. When you're ready, let's bring both knees to chest and toes straight to the sky. Hug on to your left leg only. I like to use left hand lower and the right hand higher. Sending right leg long, or you can always tap your toes down. We're gonna bring nose up towards knee and tug twice on the leg that's coming to body. Switch. Right hand higher, left hand lower, tug twice, and switch. Tug, tug, switch. Pointing through the toes, try to go really long here and energized, opening your webbing. Energy shoots through the tips of your toenails. We're gonna breathe. If you need to rest your head and neck, please do. Pilates scissors, really giving some love to our hamstrings here. We have 4. 3 more. Use lots of soft breath, facial features relaxed. Beautiful job, yogis. Take your legs back to the sky, reaching fingertips out to the sides, and then let left arm fall as you tap your right elbow on the outside of your left knee. Try, it's hard, isn't it? Crunch, I'm shaking, are you? Squeeze, 3 seconds, 2, and 1. Release it open. Right hand falls. Left elbow taps the outside of your right knee. Oh, so strong. We're going to breathe here for 5 seconds. Keep twisting. Look off to the right. 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Hug your knees to your chest. Rest your head and neck. Look off to the left side, stretching your neck. We have 2 more rounds of some very fun core. Well done, yogis. Eyes to the right. All right, let's hug into a little ball. Grab the ankles or your heels and hug your nose into a little ball. Let your head and neck rest as your arms float overhead. Legs extend long, double leg stretch now. Wrap into your little ball, exhale. Inhale, head and neck rest as arms and legs float away from one another. Exhale, inhale. You choose how fast you're going. Really long, strong breaths. Keeping your low back glued to the mat. So if it's starting to rise, options with me. Toes come to sky rather than extending away, or toes come towards the ground. We have 6. Big break coming. Quality over quantity here. So we're slowing down to stay very present in the moment. Halfway, give me twice as much strength now. 2 to finish. Exhale. Inhale. Hug knees to chest, head and neck rest. Woo-wee. Relax your shoulders. Eye gaze looks to the right. Soften your jaw here, yogis. Eye gaze looks to the left. All right, one more cute little challenge. We're gonna let our feet fall and the soles of our feet fall together as our knees flop open. So you're in butterfly legs. Fingertips come to the back of your skull. Try not to clasp your hands. Just bring your finger pads to your skull and keep your elbow points as wide away from one another as possible. Breathe in. Exhale, crunch up. Eye gaze is going to stay at the ceiling, yogis. Every time you crunch, the lowest your eyes looks is the crack between your ceiling and your wall. This way we keep our necks really long. We require our core to stay very engaged. Think about crunching. Ribs down towards your hip bones. We're going to go for 8. Quality over quantity. Try not to rush here. Tip top, we stay. 4-second hold at the tip top. And 1, relax. Reach your arms all the way up and overhead. Let's form the other butterfly wing by clasping our wrists. Eye gaze looks to the left. One final time. Really good job in your core. For those of us that can stay for the last 5 minutes of class, we're going to stretch out. If you have to go, it is almost 1:55. Have a great weekend. Eyes look right, yogis. All right, back to the center we go. Use your hands to help your knees close, and then scoot your heels so close to your buns that you can reach down and tickle your Achilles tendon. Once you're there, stamp your heels, spread your arms wide and soft. Press up through your heels, squeezing your buns to open your front body. Just let all that tension out of your core. Take another big breath in here. Chin tucks towards chest so the back of your neck is very long. And begin to toe heel your feet together. Drawing your left knee in towards your chest, point your left toes. Send your left toes skywards, but press through your right heel. Very strong here. Rebend left knee into chest. Extend your left leg, but knees are side by side this time. Push your toes away from the crown of your head. Last one, left knee into chest. Heels down, hips stay lifted unless you absolutely need a break. Well done, yogis. Same thing other side. Point your right toes, draw right knee to chest. Take a big breath in. Exhale, press toes all the way to the sky, boosting hips higher. Breathing in, knee bend. Breathing out, knees connect, right toes push away from your heart. Crunch back in, knee to chest. Both feet down, give yourself one more huge boost up as big as this bridge could be. And then release so slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Great job, yogis. Wide knees this time. Let's bring your knees all the way in towards your armpits. You might like to hug them, or you can just let them be loose and just softly rock. Let's get a couple spinal twists in to polish off this practice. Bringing knees down, figure 4 with your right ankle crossing the left thigh. As you fall to the left side, using your left hand to push on your right knee. Just create some space here. Right knee away from nose. Stretch out your right arm and gaze off to the right side. Send breath down through your hips, into your low back, even into your inner thigh and groin. Eye gaze back to the center. Spread your arms. If you're a little worried about rising, you can uncross your legs and slowly come back to center, or use strong side body and squeeze back to center. Release your right foot, flex your left, cross the right ankle. And as you allow your knees to fall to the right side, right hand will push away, create more space here on your left knee. Eye gaze softly falls to the left side. Try to inflate your stomach here. Feel it rising. Diaphragmatic breathing is such a gift when we slow down enough. This can really help us tap into our rest and digest nervous system. Eye gaze moves to the sky. Shoulders press flat. Uncross legs for a softer rise, or squeeze through the left side body. Uncross figure four when you're at the top. And let's simply cross our ankles and roll to a seat. Having a seat here to finish up our practice. Take a big lift, whether you're pushing off of your floor or your knees, scoot your sits bones back and just take a tiny little fold forward here. Sits bones glued in, heart reaching away from your sits bones. We talked a lot about love and light, brightness and positivity in the beginning of class, but I want you to remember that I am here and your yoga mat is always here for you. If you're feeling down or off, when you're not all sunshine and rainbows, it's the most important time to turn to your practice. Allow your breath and your movement as medicine to turn a little bit of that funky business around. So we said yes to ourselves today. Congratulations. Yes to thinking good thoughts, but also acknowledging everything real and valid that arises, the whole gamut of our emotions. Remember that we're not here to pretend. We call it a practice because we're not here to be perfect or to force anything. We observe and accept what is with non-judgmental kindness and compassion. Bringing hands to heart center as you rise. Hopefully, as you've cracked your chest open during our stretches today, your heart feels as wide as the world, and you can lead every interaction you have today with a breath-centered, heart-focused purpose. Yogis, thank you for joining me today. My divine light honors, is inspired by, is humbled by, and is grateful for yours. Thank you, and namaste.